Good morning, everyone. If you haven't reached into your little bag and pulled out your candle, please do that, but don't turn it on yet. Okay. This is just prep. So welcome to the 20th can you believe it? C3G Family Conference. We're delighted to have all of you here today. To those of you who are first time to the family conferences, welcome. And to the returning alums, a very warm welcome as well. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Lynn Lanning, Richard Smith's wife, and we're the co-founders of Kidneeds. For those of you who didn't know where Iowa was before you landed today, you're not alone. We are best known for our pigs and our corn, which greatly outnumber the number of Iowans living here. But we're also noted for Iowa Nice. And you can ask Kayla about this later if you want to, but Iowa Nice is iconically demonstrated by holding doors for people. And sometimes you hold them longer than you would when somebody's a quarter mile down the road. But anyway, the information today may get a little bit exhausting. And if you have the opportunity to open a door or hold the door for someone today, it might give you that added buzz you were looking for. So while I was sitting with my empty pen and empty notebook, trying to think, how am I going to spin the 20th Family Conference Welcome Talk and Kidneeds History Talk, my phone pinged, and in was an incoming image of our little 2-year-old grandson, Harlan. And immediately, an image in my mind superimposed itself on Harlan of his father, Luke, at the same age. And for just that split second, they were the same and generated that same burst of love. And as I pulled back from that moment, the image of a Mobius strip came to me. And the Mobius strip is that rectangle that's got a half twist in it, and then the seams are joined at the ends. And if you run your finger along that edge, it forms a continuous line, and it is all one face. So at any point on that Mobius strip, it is at once a beginning and an end. And that seemed very fitting for where we are today after 28 years of Kidneeds' quest for a treatment for C3G. We are at once standing on a point of ending and a point of beginning. So indulge me as I rewind us 33 years. In 1992, Jenna developed what was eventually diagnosed as MPGN2, which is membranous proliferative glomerulonephritis type 2, which nobody can pronounce. If people ask what disease she had, we just said she has a kidney disease. The following year in 93, she went into renal failure and started peritoneal dialysis. As you know, back then when she was diagnosed, it was called MPGN2. Before that, it was called dense deposit disease. After that, it became C3G. So if I use terms, I'm trying to use them appropriate to the time period I'm kind of working with there. So between 93 and 97, the year that we started Kidneeds, I had only met 2 other mothers who had young children, and actually daughters with MPGN2. One, I should say it. So it's poignant when I look out on this group. One of those mothers is here with us today, Carol Persanti. And yeah, come on in. And in those days, there was really nothing to be done. There was no treatment. There was nothing going on. And so Carol was my family conference. She was my my lifeline really in a dark time. And in 1997, I began to toy with the idea of putting together an MPGN2 research foundation. The name Kidneeds spontaneously generated because kids need kidneys. But the logo, let me push this forward, is a heart because ours was a journey of love. And the heart is broken by the kidney inside. The candle over the eye, was because it was Christmas time and they were having a little children's sermon. And the topic of the children's sermon was the symbolism of the candle in the window. And they told the children that the candle represented hope, a light in a darkness, that people were welcome at the place where the candle was lit. And over time, it became a symbol of hope. And soon after that children's sermon, I woke up and the house was freezing cold. And I went to see what was going on because Jenna was having surgery to replace a peritoneal dialysis catheter that day. And I looked in Jenna and Jessica's room, and the window was open and there was snow piling up on the ground. And so I looked then, after I was shocked by the snow, looked in the window, and there was a paper candle cut out and placed in the window. And next to it, Jenna had written a note inviting the angels to come in out of the cold, and if they wouldn't mind healing her kidney, she was supposed to have surgery that day. A place of welcome, a respite, a light in the darkness. All of that is symbolized by that candle flame in Kidneeds. In 97, a nephrologist we were meeting with told us that the hard truth was nothing had been done on this disease in 40 years. Nothing was going to be done on this disease in another 40 years, barring something unforeseen. And we walked out of that room vowing to become something unforeseen. Later that year, we founded Kidneeds at the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation, who you'll hear from later. They have been an amazing home for us. And our mission was simply to give 100% of all donations to fund scientific research on MPGN2 at that time, and to provide education as we learned it to share with other parents and families. As you know, statistics have no place in the calculations of the heart. Realistically, we knew that the chances that we would find a treatment were infinitesimally less than the 1 in a million chance there was that Jenna had gotten the disease, or that she would be in 2 different houses hit by 2 different tornadoes. But such is Jenna's way with the odds that we figured it bode well that maybe we would find a treatment. Up until 2004, we didn't have any organized family conferences and would meet one-on-one with families as they approached us. And in 2004, the Tully family was one of those families that came forward and approached us. And they had the idea of bringing together scientists from around the world that might have a piece of the puzzle that would help us move forward with figuring out treatment for MPGN2 at that point. And we said, great, we thought about that, but we didn't have the resources to do it. And so they came back, established the Milagros Research Foundation at the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation with the sole mission of funding those scientific research. Let's see. That was a game changer for us. In 2004, the fall, with the Tully's financial backing and the fruits of Richard's sleuthing to find out who were these people that might have a piece of that puzzle, which field should we engage, what were the gaps in knowledge, which were massive, but how did we begin to address that? They put together the first scientific conference in Boston, and that really has been a game changer. Because it has allowed collaborations across the world, it has encouraged friendships, and it has accelerated the scientific interest in MPGN2, C3G. We have held Kidneeds and Milagros have funded or have had 8 international scientific conferences since 2004. Let's go this one. These were just some of them. By 2005, we had some progress to report, and we knew more families. So we put together a family conference program for 10 people. For most of people, this will be the first time that they met somebody else who lived with DDD. For parents, there was sharing of experiences and tears. For DDD patients, it was a chance to meet other people with DDD and share the weirdness of their life experiences compared to friends who might be agonizing about their zits. They also offered each other solutions for disease or dialysis issues. Then they moved on to sports, music, cat videos, whatever, the comfort of a tribe. And in the 20 years of family conferences, thousands of C3G family members and friends have made Kidneeds research a global initiative. Many, many, many people have contributed financially to allow us to fund over $3.5 million worth of C3G research worldwide. Fabrizio and Marianne have started research foundations, Projecta DDD and CompCure, respectively. And that has really helped to accelerate our knowledge of C3G as well. Others of you have started and participated in gathering C3G families together online or in person so that we can not only support each other, but also have that population to run the drug trials that are necessary. And through your actions and the ripples that they have set in motion, the science of C3G and complement system has exploded. And it has enabled us to today celebrate the approval of the first 2 C3G drugs. Long ago, we envisioned that moment when the first C3G drug was approved. We imagined it would have a big party, corks popping, confetti would be falling on everyone from the sky. But when that cell phone call came, we were walking with our best friends, Culver and Maria, who have been an integral part of Kidneeds, and listening to that news together on a speakerphone. We did not experience a confetti falling from the sky moment, but we did experience a sense of overwhelming gratitude. So this is our collective moment of gratitude. Now, if you will please pull out your candle, but don't turn it on yet. I am going to call different categories. This is not a time to be shy. I want you to stand when I call your category because we need to see each other and what a group of can do when we are motivated towards a goal. So pull out your candle and please stand when I call your name. Not your name, but your category. If you have ever been part of organizing, preparing for, Jenna, come on in, have a seat here. You're good. Giving tours at, working during a Kidneeds family conference, please stand up. Come on, MORL. Have you ever worked? Stand up if you have ever worked in the pre-conference medical clinics, drawn bloods, spun down the bloods, run the tests in more MORL for people at the family conferences. Keep standing, everybody, too. If you are a part of currently or have ever worked at MORL labs, please stand. If you have ever been on a Kidneeds advisory or scientific advisory board, please stand. Come on up, Carol, Fabrizio. Where's Mimi? Let's stand. Up you go, Richard. If you have ever spoken at a Kidneeds family conference as a family member or on diet or a physician, please stand up. Patient groups, please stand up. Thank you. If you have ever organized or worked at a fundraiser, yes. If you've ever organized or worked at any fundraiser for Kidneeds research, please stand up. If you have ever participated in a C3G patients or family support groups in person or online, please stand up. If you've been on social media, stand up here looking. If you've ever participated in a drug trial, or if you've ever tried to participate in a drug trial, please stand up. If you have ever supported at least one other person or patient or family member with C3G, please stand up. If you are here for the first time, you are now a valued member of our community, please stand up. Please light your candles. Now, this next one is kind of fun. I was surprised last night when Richard read off his list of thank yous. It followed exactly the role that is in my slides today. So either he looked at my slides or our 44 years of marriage have us thinking exactly the same. So what we're going to do is a modification of the Iowa wave. And if you haven't stood up yet and you want to, please stand up because I see that you have been at family conferences before. You need to stand up. So the Iowa Wave is this lovely thing we do for the children in the Children's Hospital. But for us, we're not going to go across the room back and forth. But what we will do is when I read out a name, will you please just raise and then lower your candle? Okay. So for Jory, for putting on the family conferences, organizing the many moving pieces of these family conferences, thank you. To Lindsay Fuller, whoops, here, wait, get my slides caught up with what I'm doing. For Lindsay, for running our social media that has provided support for patients and information worldwide. Thank you. For the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation, the home of Kidneeds, Milagros, they made our dream of a foundation a reality. They have worked tirelessly monitoring all the money that goes out and accounting for it for us. And they have been incredibly personally, emotionally supportive. Thank you. To Monica and the natural history team for collecting data that is helping to define the heterogeneity of C3G and the disease course. Thank you. For MORL, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. You are an amazing team. To Fabrizio, who has spent so much time establishing, overseeing operations, funding, fundraising for Progetto DDD. He has been an incredible friend, as well as a partner in supporting research, liaisoning with families, clinicians who coordinate care for C3G patients. Thank you, Fabrizio. To Sean Tully for having the vision and putting that vision into a reality so that we could have these game-changing scientific conferences across the world. Also a truly great friend and partner for many, many years. Thank you, Sean. To Christy Thomas, I don't know if he's here. Okay, well, to Christy anyway, who has been at every Iowa City fundraiser for Kidneeds, who has spoken at every Kidneeds family conference. Excuse me, I'm behind here. There we go. And he has provided incredible care for the transplant patients at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, especially our daughter. And to Carla, who is the greatest C3G doctor, the doctor for many of you who has patiently navigated you through many of the challenges you have faced. She has made UIHC the largest center for drug trials in the world. She has advocated worldwide for C3G patient standards across the world. Cheers to you, Carla. Thank you. There's the beret, Culver. To Richard, whose hard work, I'm not going to get through this one, but unwavering dedication to finding a treatment for C3G, his ability to make strangers into lifetime scientific collaborators and friends, and whose love has made all of this possible. If Kidneeds is a wheel, Richard is the hub that holds all of the spokes of research, scientific collaborations, friendships, meetings, organizations across the world together. Without him, the spokes would never have joined and this wheel would never have turned. To you, my love. And finally, to Jenna, who by fate became the reason for Kidneeds and our life journey to find a treatment for C3G. But she is more than a patient. She is unflinching courage and strength. She speaks truth to the reality she lives with, often with great humor. She and her twin sister have raised thousands and thousands of dollars for research, and she has endured hundreds of surgeries and yet never gives up. Jenna is the heart, the kidney, and the candle in our darkness. It is time for all of us to allow ourselves to be filled with gratitude for having a treatment for C3G. And even as this goal ends, a new one is beginning for us to understand the best treatment standards for these drugs, which drugs may benefit which patients. So hold your candles up and let us go forward together to finish the work. Thank you.